Hello, welcome to the Duckhorn Portfolio Chef Series. My name is Natalie Niksa, and I will be joining you for the next 7 weeks as we prepare easy recipes for you to enjoy at home with the Duckhorn Portfolio wines. Today we are going to be starting off this chef series with the Duckhorn Sauvignon Blanc. Very excited about this wine. It's really bright and crisp, and what I have prepared, or what we will be preparing to pair with this wine today is a guacamole 2 ways. I love guacamole, and I think that everyone loves guacamole. I like to pair it with our crudités, and what makes our crudités a little bit different is that we serve them lightly roasted in addition to the raw. So whenever we're looking at a recipe, we're going to be looking at what needs to be prepared first, what will take the longest. So the lightly roasted vegetables is what we're going to get started on. We're going to have some cauliflower, some potatoes, radishes, endive, carrots. You can ultimately use anything that's growing in your backyard, wherever you are, whatever season it is. So with the cauliflower, I like to turn it, and this is the root part of the cauliflower. I'm just going to take my chef knife, and I'm going to cut straight down so that this big bulb falls off. I'll put that aside. And I'll clean up all of the extra parts of the cauliflower that I won't need. Then you can kind of just rip it with your hands. You really don't need your chef knife at this point. And we're gonna reserve some for the raw portion as well as the roasted. So now you'll use your chef knife and you'll cut off a little bit of the root, and then you just wanna cut it into smaller pieces. Think about like when people are gonna be eating it, you want it to be somewhat of a bite-sized piece. So we'll reserve these for later. And then for our roasted portion, we'll do the same thing. So we'll cut it into somewhat, bite-sized pieces. And we'll put it on a foil-lined sheet pan. And we'll do this for all of the vegetables. And the fun thing about roasted radishes, which I'll teach you, they really become really bright and pink when you hit them with a little bit of acid after you cook them. So right here, we're just gonna season these vegetables with a little bit of neutral olive oil, grapeseed oil, vegetable oil. Any of those oils will work. We don't like to be cooking with extra virgin olive oil because extra virgin olive oil is just so green and it's beautiful for finishing food. So right now, we're just gonna dress these vegetables with just a neutral oil. We're gonna put these in the oven. And those will roast for between, let's say, 10 to 12 minutes. We don't want them fully cooked because, again, this is crudité. We don't want it to be anywhere over cooked. We want them to be lightly roasted to combine with the crunchiness of the raw vegetables. You'll notice that I did not season those vegetables with salt because salt brings out the moisture in the vegetable. So we'll season the vegetables when they come out of the oven. Now we're gonna be moving on to our guacamole portion. So I'm gonna take an avocado that is perfectly ripe. So when you touch an avocado, you don't want any part of it to be too squishy, but you also don't want it to be rock hard. I'm gonna take my avocado with my chef knife, and I'm gonna just make a score right down the middle, and I'm gonna twist it so that it's open just like this. I'm gonna carefully use my knife, the heel part of my knife, and I'm gonna just lightly place it right on the seed and tap it with my other hand. And usually you just twist a little bit, and the seed will come right out on the heel. Very carefully now, you take the seed with your other hand in a paper towel and you can discard the seed. I'm gonna put my chef knife away and I'm gonna grab my paring knife. And this is another fun trick. The smaller scores you can score an avocado with, the better. So you just start to go straight down and then across. So you do these vertical and horizontal little squares, if you will. They'll look like dice dices. And then I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm going to actually just scoop out the avocado into a bowl. And part of the work is already done for you. If you scored the avocado pretty small, it's already broken up a bit. So for this guacamole, we're gonna enjoy it with some lime, some cilantro, and some red onion. So you take the outer peel off of your red onion, and we're gonna just finely mince this. So when we mince things, again, we're going down in a straight line, and then you're gonna wanna come horizontally through the onion. And let's do twice. So the first slice as well as right above, and then you kind of bring back the onion together, and you just make these very small slices, as thin as you can possibly go. And that's about enough. And if you slice it finely to begin with, you really don't need to chop over it. That should be plenty. We'll add that to the bowl of our avocado. I love microplanes. If you can purchase one of these from your local kitchen store, they're great. It allows you to just easily zest any citrus. I just love the flavor of lime zest. So I'm gonna just zest a little bit of the lime right into the bowl. And I'm also going to squeeze the juice. Cilantro is a great flavor. I really like cilantro with the Duckhorn Sauvignon Blanc. The Sauvignon Blanc is just really bright and crisp. And the cilantro is just a really fun flavor. It just accentuates all of the just brightness of the wine. So I've basically taken all of the leaves of the cilantro, and I'm just lightly chopping through it. And we'll add that to our avocado. So now I want to get this fully mixed. So I'm going to mash it. And if you're doing a larger batch, or if you have a smaller wooden spoon, I love working with wooden spoons and avocados. They actually mash really well. We're going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're actually just going to put this aside, and we're going to get our grilled bread going. So right now we have our lightly roasted part of the crudités working. Our guacamole is set, and now we're going to move on to the grilled bread. So any country loaf, any baguette, anything that you have will work. I'm going to use a serrated knife for my slicing of the bread. Just going to do not too thick of a slice. And I'm going to get my pan or a grill plate. I'm using a grill plate today. I'll get it just lightly on the flame. We'll heat that a bit, and we will, again, use a neutral oil for the grill plate or the saute pan, whatever you're using at home. We'll put our oil on the pan. I like to put the bread down on the oil and then just top it with a little bit of oil on the top as well. And we'll let that grill on both sides. So while that is grilling, we're going to get our salad dressing ready for our salad, which will be topped on our avocado toast. So we have a bowl and a whisk. We have a little bit of honey. I always like honey with my salad dressings. It's just a nice, it just rounds out the acidity in the olive oil really well. A little bit of vinegar. I'm using champagne vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar. You can use balsamic vinegar, any vinegar. And then this is where you do want to use your extra virgin olive oil, because the extra virgin olive oil has such great flavor and the salad won't be cooked. So this is where it comes in really handy. When you're whisking on a bowl, what helps is if you have like a damp paper towel or any sort of towel, it will actually create a little bit of like a resting space for you. So I'm gonna just slowly whisk in my olive oil, and you're slowly whisking it in because this is called emulsification. So you're whisking in the fat into the acidity, and usually it's 3 to 1. So if you have a teaspoon of vinegar, you're gonna do 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And the honey can really be to your taste. So our dressing is done, and now we're gonna check on our grilled bread, which we're gonna flip. You can use tongs at home. And we're also gonna check our lightly roasted vegetables in the oven. Okay, so let's piece this all together. So we are entertaining, even if it's just for ourselves or for guests, and we are gonna start with our crudités. So when we build our crudités, we're gonna be working with our raw crudités as well as our roasted, just to give the plate a little bit of variety. So we have our raw carrots, and we have our roasted carrots. And we can put them on opposite sides of the plate. We have our roasted radishes. We have some roasted potatoes. Our roasted cauliflower, as well as our raw cauliflower. Again, I'm keeping them on opposite sides of the plate. We have some endive spears, which can also be grilled on the grill plate with the bread. The bread is looking good. And we'll put our guacamole right in the center. And you can use any size, plate you want. So that's gonna be our first dish, our lightly roasted and raw crudités with our guacamole. And then for a first course, what's fun is to take our grilled bread. So it's just lightly grilled on each side. You can cut it with your chef knife. I like to do like on a bias, so it's just like more of like a half on an angle. You can serve 1 piece or you can serve 2. We're gonna top it with our guacamole. And then we're gonna lightly dress our salad, and the salad is just gonna go right with it. So we have our dressing here. You can either put some salad into a separate bowl, just like this, and just lightly pour your dressing right over the salad greens. And your salad will go right next to the avocado toast. What I like most about this pairing is that there's a little bit of Sauvignon in the Duckhorn Sauvignon Blanc, and that really adds this silkiness to the wine. So you have this crisp, acidic structure with this silkiness of the Sauvignon, and in combination with the lime zest and the fat of the avocado, it just makes for a great pairing. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week.